Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ruby Summer Rose Court. To recap where we left off last time, we destroyed the Alpha Grimm in a climactic and decisive battle, and that was really cool. And then, after that, we shared a tender, romantic, blissful, and really emotional night with Penny, who we are trying to court, get it, in this game. But after that, it seems like we are now wandering the corridors of our castle. So, without further ado, let's dive right back in. Compelled to follow the vision, I step outside and chase it, seeing nothing in the corridors. Nothing and no one. I should go get Little Thorn. With the weapon in my hands, I feel safer. My bare feet slap against the stone floors, the only sound in the entire castle. Crescent Rose? There's no response. I know it's you. You can't hide from me. You're a part of me. Hurtling around the corner of these stone walls, another blast of wind takes me so suddenly I'm thrown to my knees, left only to huddle there in the freezing air. Ah! Stop it! If you have something to tell me, just spit it out! The winds die down, lying flat to the floor and leaving me in that perfect stillness again. Grateful and just a little smug, I breathe a sigh of relief and stand up, tall. I clutch Little Thorn in both hands like it can protect me, a talisman, the same as the one I wear around my neck. I know you're alive. Ren and Nora told me you were asleep. Are you trying to wake up, or stay as you are? Do you need me? Do you know why the Grimm are opening portals, waging war? Just tell me something. I want to help. I shout, the last syllables echoing off the stone walls. My shoulders slump forward in defeat when there's no answer, not even a whisper in my head. Don't wake me up for nothing then, if you're just gonna be rude. Turning around, I make my way back to my room. I'm ready to put it all behind me until the screaming starts. Ah! Oh no, Penny! Help! Somebody help me! Ruby! Ruby! A burst of rose petals scatter behind me as I use my semblance to rocket down the empty hallways, for the first time realizing they are completely empty. No guards, no mages, none of my court members in their rooms. Where is everyone? Where is everyone? The screams grow louder, words lost in incoherent screams of pain. The throne room! With one powerful gesture, I blast apart the doors with the force of a hurricane gale. They crack open so violently they threaten to tear off the hinges. There, perched on the throne itself, is a blood-soaked Grimm. Help me, Ruby! It opens its beak wider, a perfect human imitation wailing out from its throat. 6 eyes burn at me from the darkness. It's outside the window! It's outside! Wings drag across the floor as it starts to move towards me, stalking movements like a bird of prey and hands like a Beowulf. A cold wind blasts through my room, strong enough to rattle the windows. It comes from me, my outstretched hand as I try to ward away the Alpha Grimm. No! I gasp, sitting up straight. I don't even know when I had fallen asleep, just that I'm awake now. Panting raggedly, I bunch up my blankets in a tight grip. Is this another nightmare, or am I awake for real now? The door handle turns, wood scraping against the floor. The noise jolts me out of bed. My glaive is in my hands before I even have time to see who it is. Penny stands there. Penny stands there, a bouquet of flowers in one hand and a vase in the other. Ruby? Is it another nightmare? I felt Crescent Rose shifting. I wanted to look around and make sure nothing was amiss. She glances down at the flowers in her hands. And while I was out, I thought maybe I could do something nice. I know you're stressed, and humans find pretty things relaxing, so maybe... Oh, Penny! Thank you! That's so nice of you! She sets the vase on my dressing table and steps towards me. Gently, she eases Little Thorn out of my hands. I hadn't even realizing I was still brandishing it. Penny, Sorry, I felt it too. Now it's my turn to listen. Talk to me about it? Bit by bit, I explain the dream. Your nightmares are usually visions, right? Things happening at that very moment? Yes, and you were... There was blood. Look, I'm right here and there's no Grimm in the throne room. I should know. I just walked past it. And it couldn't have been my blood. I don't have blood, silly. Oh. But it felt real. But it was different from my other dreams. Do you think maybe it was just a nightmare? Like the ones everyone gets sometimes? Just a nightmare. After all I've been through, such a thing is almost unthinkable. But what else could it be? A message from Crescent? Message from Crescent. The window! Suddenly alarmed, I grab Penny and pull us both away from the window. She said it was outside the window. I'm shaking all over again. Why did this nightmare rattle me up so much worse than the others? Penny looks determined, staring out at the window. Stay here. I'll check. No, Penny, don't go. No. No, I'll do it. Penny just gives me a quick smile before walking to the other side of the room. The window opens with a soft squeal of hinges, unused as the months grow colder. I'm really scared, guys. Looks like nothing's out there. Want to see for yourself? Feeling more and more foolish by the second, I lean over the windowsill and stare down at bare stone walls. I can't believe this. Penny puts a comforting hand on my shoulder. I'm sorry you were so worried about me. You're damn right I'm worried about you. Go back to sleep, Ruby. I sigh. I think I will. The little sigh bubble right here. This has all just been so... Uh-oh. A sharp pain in my gut knocks me breathless. Huh? Falling to my knees, I hold my midsection, trying desperately to inhale. Ruby? Oh no. It slams into me again, knocking my senses loose, unraveling me from the inside. How did... Gasping, I get up to my feet and start putting on my armor, leaving most of the buckles unfastened in my haste. We have to get out of here. This is just like Spiritus Bellatorum. The Grimm are going to be here any minute. Oh shit, are they putting a portal in our castle? I grab Little Thorn by the haft and run out into the hallways, shouting at the top of my lungs. Feet skidding on the stone floors, Penny follows me. Other people start poking their heads out of their doors as well. Ruby? What's going on? There's a portal opening over the city. A what? How? I drag a palm down my face, knowing I must look 10 times more distressed than I feel. In Spiritus Bellatorum, I was separated from Crescent Rose, so I didn't know what the warning signs were. More of my court members gather in the hallway, not all of them fully dressed. Stupid, stupid, I'm so stupid! Stop it. Ren takes my hands before I can start beating them against my forehead. None of us have proper experience with our spirits, or how they choose to communicate with us. You least of all. That's not a good excuse anymore, Ren. I have to fix this. What about the enchantments on the walls? The wall fortifications might not work if the Grimm are attacking from the inside. Oh, stupid, stupid, I'm so stupid. This is probably how they killed my parents, and now they're going to get me the same way. Snarling, Weiss draws her sword. Not as long as my knights and I draw breath. Thanks, Weiss. That's not just a figure of speech, you know. There's no bite to Blake's words, however, and she has her weapons in hand as well. What do you need us to do? Yang, run the ramparts. The attack is coming from inside the city. Make sure the guard is ready. Got it. I'll gather my knights and convene with the mages who are in the city. Good. Glinda will be in charge. Do whatever you can to help her. Blake, I need you to contact the Faunus. The Faunus? Secure the menagerie. They're at the highest risk. Okay. If there's anywhere with strong walls, get everyone inside as quick as you can. Or get them outside the city, if that's what it takes. Taking off one of my rings, I give it to her. It's what I use to seal documents. Anyone in the city would know to follow the Weaver's instructions. Okay. Blake doesn't waste her breath on words, vanishing right before my eyes in a flicker of shadows. Jean, there's a magic system in place that anyone can utilize. It's up on the bell tower. Ring it 5 times. Make sure it gets heard. It might be strong enough to weaken the Grimm. Yes, Ruby. This is so crazy. I'm like losing my mind right now. Pyrrha, help evacuate the citizens to the docks outside the castle. On it. Ren, Nora, is there any way at all to stop this? Ren shakes his head. Crescent Rose has the most control over the portals. As far as I can tell, the more powerful the one wielding her, the easier the portals are to open. Looks like it's already opening. Even if we killed you, that wouldn't stop it. She pauses, then she starts waving her hands frantically, looking around her for help. Not that killing you is an option. Think of something to take down the Alpha Grimm, then. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this one might be able to fly. Jesus. Penny, stay with me. I have an idea. Every time I ignore Crescent Rose, something bad happens. I won't keep making the same mistakes. A shudder ripples through the air, the ground trembling under our feet. Familiar and terrible, something unseen pinches at the power within me, drawing it out and unraveling me like thread. Gasping again, I start hobbling down the hallways, with Penny helping me. They're almost here, caught us by surprise. You did everything you could. She was warning me, I just didn't listen. I know, I'm sorry. Outside, I hear bells ringing, loud and brash and wild. Ozpin told me the bells were enchanted. What are they going to do? I get my answer in short time, magic buzzing up all around us, so loud it makes my ears ring. Under my feet, light spews forth from every crack between the stones, blazing up in furious power. All right! What is that? Does that ward away Grimm? I have no idea, but it looks cool. Ugh, Ruby! I start laughing uncontrollably, leaning against Penny so they can hold more of my weight. I think it just... Get down. Get down! Crescent Rose's voice rings clearly in my ears, more clear than I'd ever heard her before. Not waiting to see what she is warning about this time, I pull Penny down just as the Alpha Grimm hits the window. All I see is a huge black beak, 6 burning eyes. Is this a, Nevermore? It might be. It's the same one from my dreams. Glass shatters next to us, raining inward. My armor deflects most of it, but everywhere not covered gets nicked. Cuts blossom up, blood flowing freely down my face and onto Penny. Kill it! The Alpha Grimm takes off, claws scraping against the stone outside. I get up to my feet, glaive unsteady in my hands. Black pitch bubbles up on the stone floor, visibly fighting against the glowing runes shining in the cracks. For a second they form into Grimm, masks glowing pearly white and blood red. Then we cut them down, parting them effortlessly with our enchanted blades. Nice work. Let's hope it covers the whole city and not just the castle. If this is anything like that first night, then the castle might be less safe than the city itself. The Grimm are after me. Where to now? The throne room. Crescent showed it to me for a reason. The bells continue to ring, howls and screaming sounding from outside. Occasionally a blast of pure magic rocks the whole castle. Maybe we can make it. Maybe we've learned from our mistakes. A tremulous howl echoes down the halls, all the warning we get before we're beset by a fresh group of Grimm. They climb down pillars, crash through the windows, stampede down the hallways. The throne room is a choke point. If we can hold them off there... The ground shakes again, dust raining down from dislodged stone. The whole castle is gonna collapse. Putting my boot onto a Grimm's back for purchase, I yank my glaive free from between its spinal column. No, it's not. Don't say things like that. A deafening crunch fills my ears, echoing through the halls. Unmistakable, the sound of stones falling makes me pause mid-strike. Okay, maybe the whole castle won't collapse. If you say so. I call up my semblance, raining razor-sharp petals down in a flurry. It slices the Grimm to ribbons, crippling them enough so that Penny and I can make it to the throne room. Oh my god, this is so intense. As we do, I hear it again. Something is tearing my palace apart from the inside. That something comes around the corner in a huff of steam, violent fire coursing over pitch-black paws. Oh god. A Grimm, cat-like and huge, with curled horns like a battering ram. It freezes once it sees me, eyes focused and intelligent. The fire from its paws seeps onto the ground, covering up the castle's protective runes. Grimm rise up from it, taking shape and screaming in fury. Another alpha? I back away on instinct. At the first twitch, the spell is broken and the alpha charges, a horde of regular Grimm spawning from its pitch-filled footsteps. Ah! I throw out my semblance on instinct, sending rose petals flying down the hallways to see if the edges might hamper it. Nothing happens. In blind panic, I lift my hand again, and a fiercer wind kicks up, slamming the doors of my throne room shut. Crescent, help! With a hiss, my powers activate something in the room. The stone vines slither forward in the blink of an eye, weaving crisscross to form a barrier over the doors. The alpha rams into it as Penny and I back away. The door shatters audibly, but the vines only bend inward, holding strong. Okay, we're here. Next part of the plan? The alpha roars, battering against the vines again. Ruby! We flinch and back away more, stepping closer to each other. You had a plan, right? I don't know. I think Crescent told me to go here, but I don't know why. I whirl around, trying desperately to ignore the alpha tearing at our barrier. Marching to the throne, I wipe my hand against my brow. It stings, sweat seeping into the cuts I sustained from the shattered windows. Crescent, this is our connection, right? Even though you're inside me, this is a focus point, right? Like an anchor? Like how the portals are? A physical shape in exchange for power. I wipe away the sweat gathering on my forehead again. My palm comes away bloody. At a loss, I wipe it clean on the throne's back. You have to wake up. I'm in control now, and you're going to do what I say. No answer. The Grimm are here. I can't fight something that big on my own. Is there another way out of this room? I tear my eyes away from the throne to look at Penny, at a loss for words. There isn't, is there? Oh god. This is real bad. We can fight our way out. We need Crescent Rose. Maybe we can bunker down here. There's no way we can fight an alpha on our own. We need Crescent Rose. No, this entire ordeal has been building up to this. Crescent Rose must be here. I can feel her more clearly every day. I could hear her not a minute ago, talking to me. We can use her like my parents tried to. Your parents tried. Unless Crescent... Look around me with dawning despair. Unless she was warning me of this? The same room my parents died in. Oh, no. The same room I'm going to die in. The alpha batters the rose vines. I cover my ears against the noise, shouting as loud as I can. Crescent Rose! It's very quiet for a long time until I open my eyes again. When I do, I see the alpha tearing through the stone vines, entangled in them. The thorns bite deep into dark flesh. It bleeds out pitch, vicious slime to progenate lesser Grimm. I'm not alone in the castle, but no one I love can be found. The alpha swipes at me as I approach, claws extended. They miss me by a hair's breadth. They're gone. The alpha breaks through more vines, inching closer. Irritated now, I reconfigure them, catching the beast around each paw and pulling viciously. All gone. All gone. Sorrow, piercing and unbearable. It cripples me, tears flowing down my face. With a cry, I make a fist with one hand, pulling all my power into the gesture. I tug it to my side, fiercely, and the vines follow my command. You killed them all, you beast! Monster! Limb by limb, I tear the alpha apart, whirling vines surround me as I walk, shredding apart every moving creature in the hall until I am still again and quiet. Panting, I look around me, knowing where I am and not knowing. A cautious, unfamiliar voice trembles behind me. Oh my god. I thought everyone was dead. Oh my god, I seriously thought for a second that I had chosen a bad ending, and that everyone was dead. But Penny, she's still alive. Ruby? I twitch, not having sensed them. I wasn't looking for anyone but enemies and roses, but I turn and see them now, and I am filled with rage at the memory of who they are. Stone silent, I glare at them. You did it. I don't want to look at them any longer. Gritting my teeth, I refuse to acknowledge them until they come up closer to me. That was incredible, Ruby. You did it. You used Crescent Rose. Their voice goes lower, concerned when I don't respond. Ruby, are you okay? I feel weird. I think something is wrong. I'm fine. Something is definitely not fine. I think something is wrong. I don't say anything at all. Ruby? They reach out with a tentative hand. Fury roused again, I slap the offending appendage away. Did I give you permission to touch me? Or even to stand in my presence? You disgust me. Seeking to usurp my power. You're no better than Ozpin. Usurp? But... I send a rush of my power to her, and her green eyes light up in recognition. Crescent Rose? Where's Ruby? Where she belongs, safely away from a murderous puppet like you. I flick my hand to the side. The vines on her own back lift up at my command, turning against her and binding her hand and foot. She falls to the floor where the rest come to cover her, keeping her from squirming too much. Oh shit. I'll settle my grievances with you later. Consider yourself lucky I have this mess to deal with first. No, stop it. Please don't do this. That wasn't me. All of these sound the same. No, stop it. I turn my back on them without another word. My feet lift on a set of stairs and then don't touch the ground again, winds carrying me down as a leaf in fall. All throughout the castle I sense Grimm, and the vines take care of them for me. Outside I hear the first alpha screaming, great wings beating against the walls from the outside as it seeks an entrance. Now to get rid of the songbird. Now to get rid of the songbird. Rose! I twitch again at a new voice, another stranger. She's one of the wizards, stalking towards me with a lit wand in hand. I was so worried. Where's the rest of the court? They're a little tied up right now, I imagine. Glinda, help me. I'm not in control. Boiling with a sudden self-loathing, I pause, my palm pressed against my forehead, chest heaving with breath as I try to maintain control. We've managed to wound that nevermore. My attention snaps back to the wizard, focusing on something I understand. It's not a nevermore. It's a songbird. A what? One of the Alpha Grimm. I sweep past her and motion for her to follow. Once I reach the threshold of the castle, the sudden loss of power hits me in the center of my being. Ugh, damn it! Songbird screams again, joined by the cries of its newborn progeny. I can't leave the castle? Can your wizards lure it to the roof? The Alpha? Why there? Needs somewhere isolated so I don't hurt any of my subjects when I dismantle the beast. I'd suggest trying to draw it to the fields outside, but I am not at full strength yet. I try to leave, but just stumble backwards into the castle again. The wizard catches me. Are you injured? Bristling, I shake her off. Don't touch me. Just do as I say. Glinda pauses, looking into my eyes. For the first time, I sense a threat outside the Grimm. This little mage could kill me if she tried hard enough. She knows it in that moment and weighs it as a possibility. My hand shakes. I clench it into a fist. Do you want to fight the Grimm, or do you want that sickly little man to do it for you? Rage blasts from me as palpable as waves of heat, radiating stronger than magic. I withstand it, baring my teeth in a snarl. Let me rephrase, good witch. My vines rise up from behind me in their place on the walls, each one sharpened to a severed tip and pointed at Glinda. Do you want me to kill the Grimm, or do you want me to kill you? Her eyes flicker from me to the vines, grip tightening on her wand. You've gained control over Crescent Rose, then. She's unfit to wield me. I hold my glaive in both hands, studying the weapon. Another question, mage, now that I've found you. Pole arms are for foot soldiers. Why did you give her this? I didn't. This commoner's weapon has your enchantment on it. Leave Glinda out of this. Little Thorn has done more for me than you have. You're a jerk! A jerk! I really hope that none of these small dialogue options have huge consequences, and rather they're just kind of things we can say in the moment. I hope. Well, I think we don't want to insult Crescent Rose at the moment. We should probably be more respectful. Leave Glinda out of this. Looking around me, I struggle to recognize anything beyond the raw stone we mined from the quarries nearby. It's old now, shaped to someone else's hand. I'll find a way to the roof. Just do your job. Muttering under my breath, I find another set of stairs and fly up to the top of my castle. If Ruby is so set on hiding who she isn't fit to be queen. There are no easy exits to the roof, so I have to claw through the ceiling. The stone crumbles under my hands until I emerge at the top. You don't know anything about me. At least I'm nothing like you. What do you mean? My body shakes as I laugh. Finally, I acknowledge that external self-hatred trying to wrest control from me. Ruby, you're too soft-hearted to be a warrior. I could see you breaking your back in the fields, reaping the autumn harvest. Getting up to my feet, I blink in the pre-dawn light. From my vantage point, I can see my city under attack, the Grimm swarming through the streets like a terrible flood. We'll fix this. Lifting up Little Thorn, I take what power the ley lines afford me and channel it to a weapon suitable for young Ruby Rose. There it is. There's the songbird. Look at that. Oh, Crescent Rose is no longer a polearm, no longer a glaive, but now it's actually a full scythe, it seems. With the scythe in hand, I call to the songbird as it circles around the castle once more. Fire and magic cling to it, the wizards doing their work to herd it towards the roof. It flies toward me, claws outstretched. Tensing up, I swing wide, the weapon heavy with all my intent to kill. Now die! In one blow, it slices through the songbird, cutting it in half. Panting heavily, I let the weapon drop from my hands. When I bend to pick it up, I fall flat to my knees, my chest heaving, sweat pouring down my face. Stop fighting me, Ruby! Do you know how long I waited? Asleep? I'm in control now, and you'll do as I say. There's black and white feathers all around me, shed from the songbird. Slowly they dissolve along with its corpse, withering away as dawn arrives. I try to summon the scythe again. It doesn't work. I'm still too weak. Why can't I leave the castle? The ley lines afford me travel wherever I please. I mutter low under my breath. Power to physical shape. Sacrifice. Are they broken? That's my fault. Ozpin. Whirling around, I land on my behind, scrambling away from the old man. He climbs through the hole I had made in the roof, struggling with debris before standing up. Nervously, I laugh. Oh, you, old man, why am I not surprised? Ozpin approaches me. I scramble backwards, not tearing my eyes from him until I reach the edge of the roof. Crescent Rose is scared of Ozpin, it seems. She has all these like big and powerful phrases for him, but she landed on her butt and is like scrambling backwards right now, like. He pauses then, not coming any closer. Well, for once, it's not actually my fault. The ley lines have long been in disrepair, Crescent. I've been trying to fortify them for years. It was my job before I became regent. How long? How long was I asleep? There were many roses, now there is only one. Piercing sorrow hits me again. I cover my eyes with both hands, struggling not to weep. All of them, gone, murdered, taken! He tries to move forward again, reaching out to me. Crescent, if that is you... Anger slices through my grief, all mourning forgotten in an instant. Of course it's me! You tried to use me, at least have the decency to recognize me. Usurper! I'm sorry. I look away from him, down at the city. There are less Grimm now, the smell of blood not so strong. Osmond keeps talking. I'm so sorry, Crescent. I never meant to. We didn't know you were a person. I never would have tried to use you if I knew you were a person. What a bald-faced lie. Crescent rose. You've been asleep so long, we thought it was just a strange branch of magic. You live inside Ruby. Don't you remember this? I remember what's important. Whatever we say doesn't really manifest into actual spoken words. It kind of gets like filtered out by Crescent. Would she kill him right now? I think she would, maybe. Osmond, get out of here. It's too dangerous. I know this must be overwhelming. All of us are overwhelmed and scared. But you're awake now, and you're obviously capable of reason. Let's talk, and I'd like to talk to Ruby as well, if that's alright. I'm on my feet in a flash, the glaive in hand and teeth drawn in a snarl. Never! She's mine! I'm not trying to take her from you. I promise, it's going to be okay. Enough! Emboldened by his vulnerability and our isolation, I dart in and thrust toward with my glaive. Oh no. What? What is this? How many dragons does it take to cast a spell? What? I'm a distraction, I'm a distraction, I'm a distraction. Hey, don't duck. Like, this is a very serious moment, and yet we are presented with these comical, like, options, and, like... I want to choose one of these knowing that Osmond won't die, but I don't know that. Like, these two obviously sound like something that Crescent would probably take as a distraction. But something like this might catch her off guard. I really don't know. Hey, don't duck. Confused into stillness by Ruby's sudden intrusion, I let the old man knock aside my attack. Oh, it worked. Ruby, enough nonsense, A solid fist connects with my jaw, knocking me flat on the ground. Little Thorn goes spinning out of my grasp, off the side of the roof. He punched us! Oh my god. Rolling to my feet, I face the new attacker. It wasn't him, it was Yang. You want to kill Ozpin? You gotta go through me. Yang is surrounded by purple light floating gently, if unsteadily, in the air. The witch must have thrown her up here to catch me off guard. Oh, it's you. The others must be nearby. Ruby, stop this! Snap out of it! What's wrong with you? She rolls her shoulders and cracks her knuckles, looking down at me with hesitation. Perhaps if I were weaker, I would lie to get her on my side, but I don't need her. You speak not to Ruby, but to Crescent Rose, the spirit of this plane. Fly away, Yang, back to the desert if you wish. Ruby likes you, so I won't kill you if you leave now. I don't want to fight you. Laughing, I turn my side to her and beckon her closer. Come on, Yang. You've wanted to test your strength against mine for years now. To know which one of us is the strongest of Taiyang's daughters. Oh boy. Furious, she lands on solid ground and charges towards me. With a snap of my fingers, a stone vine loops up and catches her foot, tripping her up. But then chains rattle through the air, looping 3 times around my wrist and yanking it back. Expecting this, I pull on the chains and tear Blake Belladonna from her hiding place. Oh god. She's coated in that purple fire as well, but the flight spell dissipates when she hits the solid tiles of the roof. So where are the others? They struggle as the stone vines begin to envelop them, wrapping tighter and tighter until they're cocooned. How many court members do I have again? 1, 2... I clap, loudly, waiting for Sershni to reveal herself. I don't want to kill you, Ruby. I turn to find the source of the voice, ready to strike. Sershni floats up from the edge of the roof, landing softly in front of me. Glinda's spell fades away. I find myself disarmed by Sershni's complete and total resignation. She radiates no aggression at all. You surrender? She lowers her gaze, expression neutral. I offer an apology. I failed to protect you, Ruby. Sershni, tell me, does your family line still wield Myrtenaster? The knight pauses, caught off guard. She respectfully keeps her eyes lowered. I don't know, Your Majesty. With that, she draws her sword. I'm curious to see what she does. You're allowed 1 move, then I retaliate. Sershni exhales. I expect her to lunge. Instead, she turns her sword, holding it by the blade and offering me the hilt. A Mishglass knight giving you their weapon is the ultimate sign of trust, or of ultimate humiliation, depending on the context. Pleased either way, I accept the gift. It looks as though at least one of you can be taught. I swing it once through the air, testing the weight. And then a sharp whistle lights up a glyph in my palm, attached to the hilt of Shnee's blade. Oh! It explodes in a shatter of ice, consuming me from the chest down. My arms are pinned, and my mind blinks in fury. I glare at Sershni. You! My vines rise up behind me, each one sharpened to a severed tip, aimed at the 3 of them. I won't let you hurt them. I stagger, and for that moment, Ruby manages to wrest control. The vines wrapped around Blake and Yang crumble into dust. Yang, move it! Both land on their feet, and before I can recover, Blake is wrapping her chains around me again. Yang just walks forward, her face calm, stopping only when she's close enough to look me in the eye. I'm sorry for this, Rubes. I know. Here it comes. There's a blur of motion as Yang swings, a sharp pain, then nothing. And we are done with Act 2 and into Act 3. Look at this art. Wow. It's Ruby clearly possessed by Crescent Rose. And then there's like a strange mask with some sort of symbol. I think it's the rose symbol. But and these must be the stone vines that are protruding out of it, I think. Wow. Well, this has been a lot to take in, so I think this is a good place to take a break. Holy shit. There has not been an episode where I've been more nervous about making decisions than this episode. especially that scene in the throne room where we had to decide between breaking out, hunkering down, or choosing to awaken Crescent Rose. And especially that great fake out scene afterwards where the writing makes it seem like everyone is dead but us. And for a moment I really thought that I had chosen a bad ending, but then Penny comes back and she's our first court member to reveal themselves as still alive. And I don't know this right now because I haven't started Act 3, but I am fairly confident that all of our court members are fine, and I hope that they are. You know, at least I know that Yang, Blake, and Weiss are safe. Also Glenda and Ozpin. The ones that are not accounted for are Pura, Jean, and Ren and Nora. So, fingers crossed that I made the right choice, but I guess we won't know until we start the next episode. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of Ruby Summer Rose Court. Until then.
You so fucking precious when you smile. Yeah. Girl, I lose myself up in those eyes.